Welcome everybody to another edition of Wrestling Therapy. The chair has once again been filled. This time by a first timer to the show. Please introduce yourself.
For those of you that know me, some of you might see this and watch my show. I'm the Vanilla Gorilla, one half of the Turnbuckles and Stogies podcast, bringing the world of pro wrestling and cigars together. I've done some commentary, some backstage stuff, and now I actually compete in front of the fans. So that's what I'm about. That's what
Okay.
I'm about.
Tell
Me
us a little
me and
bit
my
about your
co-host.
wrestling background.
So my dad wrestled for 30 plus years. He was trained by uh, Pete McKay, Johnny Rods, uh, the Wild Samoans. So he's been around a long time. He's the one that actually trained me while I was growing up around the business, going to shows with him and meeting people. And as I got older, I started to get involved, whether it was backstage, running and getting stuff. Being put in charge of grabbing the guys to go to the ring, telling them they're next. Any number of things I did. Putting the ring up, breaking the ring down,
Huh. I know that feeling.
putting the chairs out, putting the guardrails out, taking tickets, doing security. And then I had the opportunity to do commentary one night. I did that. And then I did that for like a year or two. And then in October of 2022, I debuted for Funhouse Wrestling out of New Jersey. And that was a phone call I had gotten back in May. I was able to team with my dad, who came out of retirement to be my partner. Um, you know, the team name that we go by is the Untouchables, which was him and his original partner who had passed away. And then it was his son who took over after his partner moved over to Puerto Rico. And then, down the line, it became my turn. And, I'm not there to fill his shoes, but I'm going to try my hardest to create my own pathway and my own legacy and kind of form my own version of that team with my dad. And then in May of last year, I had the opportunity to go work in North Carolina for a company that did a one-off show. And that was my second match. And I kind of, I was able to really hone in on what I wanted my character to kind of be and my persona and everything, and kind of was able to, hone that in and make it to kind of where I wanted. Because from my first show to my second show was so drastic in the amount of, you know, change I saw in myself after watching the videos back, and then the amount of time in between them. I was able to kind of look at that and say, okay, I didn't say much on this one. Let's try to turn that around and see what I can do here. And I went out, and again, I was put in we were put in a three-way tag match in North Carolina. And then when I debuted in Jersey, it was a four-way tag match, but it was for the titles because they didn't have a champion at the time. The champions relinquished the belts. So they took four guys, four teams, and put us in that match. And then down there, same thing. Our opponents couldn't make it, so card subject to change. We already got a tag team match, so we decided to just kind of go out and take it over. We just decided, we're just gonna run the show tonight, and we decided to go out and kind of let them know, hey, we're here. Like, this ain't gonna happen without us involved.
What was your dad's ring name?
Still goes by Big Dog.
Okay.
He's been with the Samoans. He helped train Homicide, Low Key, Amazing Red. A lot of those guys that came out of Long Island, they all kind of went there, and he helped train them, and along with Magic and a bunch of other guys who had hands in training. The guys that a lot of us watched growing up.
Right. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I know what you mean about setting up those rings. It's a bitch, especially when it's you and one other person doing it.
Yeah, I was at one show. We actually, it was after the first match or pre-show. I forget how it was. Um, the guys were in the ring just kind of getting a feel for it, bumping around, and the spring went in the middle of the ring. So it took the entire locker room to lift up the racking system underneath and had the smallest guy and one of the small ring crew guys go underneath and take the spring out.
I was it was me and one other person. We set up the ring, whatever, and I get ready to go out there for my match. And as soon as I walk out, the bottom rope just disintegrates from the turnbuckle, and it was like, oh. So I'm like in the middle of my entrance, just tearing
With
down
no
the
bottom rope now.
tearing down the bottom rope. Like, oh, we don't need it.
No bottom rope.
Yep, don't need it. Yeah,
No,
that's
not
always
right now. You don't.
yeah,
Wait until intermission. You'll have a bottom rope.
yeah. So that was always fun. Um, so we have our first ever 2-night SummerSlam. We got
Yeah.
12 matches.
Uh,
What is
You
your
know,
overall temperature check of SummerSlam?
I
Are
think it's going to
you
be interesting. I'm not opposed to two nights. I just hope both nights live up to what they're saying it's going to be. Personally, as a fan, growing up in the era that I grew up in, I'm personally looking forward to. Obviously, everybody's looking forward to the championship matches. So my personal favorite I'm looking forward to is that insane 6 team TLC. Let's hang the belts from the rafters and kind of see what these guys can do.
all right? Well, let's talk about that match first. Then, what is your thoughts on this build, and who are you predicting to win?
I mean, any of those teams really could win. Um, the build has been very good, obviously. Between building the stories from each of the teams and kind of, you go back to that original Street Profits and Motor City Machine Guns. To me as a fan, as a TNA fan growing up, I'm happy to see the Guns on. Not that TNA wasn't a big stage, don't get me wrong, but to see them in this company as the Machine Guns, they didn't change the names. They didn't give them some stupid Def Rebel music. I'm sorry, I'm going to say it. I don't care.
I agree with you 100%.
Um, I'm glad they didn't just completely stick them in a corner and, okay, we got them now. Let's just sit them over here and they could just do what they got to do. I personally want to see the Guns win just because I'm a Motor City Machine Guns fan. Um, but I mean, this is the kind of match that any team can walk away with the belts. Any team can walk away between the Wyatts, the Motor City Machine Guns, the Street Profits. Who else?
DIY.
I'm drawn. Yeah, yeah. There's so many. Any of these 6 teams can walk away with the belts if we're just being completely honest.
Yep, Andrade and Phoenix as well.
Yeah, that you see, I like Andrade and Phoenix as a team. I personally am looking forward to eventually seeing Penta and Phoenix as a team because I think they're holding out on that because they know once they do that, they're going to strap the rocket to their ass and send them right to the top. I think that's what
Yeah.
their I think that's what their reasoning is they're either going to strap the rocket to him or they're going to Penta and him are going to be two big single stars.
Yeah. Yeah.
They know that it's like one of those, like the Dudleys or the Hardys or Edge and Christian. You could split them up, but you can go back to that well and draw the money with them as a tag team.
Yeah.
Penta's
I don't
Phoenix.
disagree with that. Who are you picking to win this match?
I'm gonna go with the Guns.
Okay, that's a
I'm gonna go
different
with
one.
the Guns. I think
Okay.
they had the belts, they lost them, they haven't gotten them back yet. I mean, what's the place to really have them do it? Is SummerSlam, but then again, the Wyatts could. If I remember correctly, they're the champions going into this
Correct.
match, so they can easily retain the belts. They
Especially
can
now
very
since
easily retain
it looks like they're heels now, so
them. Mm-hmm.
you can see Howdy, maybe Nikki, Rowan in a fair.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. We'll move on to another match. We got the tag team match. We got Randy Orton and Jelly Roll versus potentially Drew McIntyre and
I
Logan
was.
Paul.
I'm glad you said potentially because I was just gonna say Drew is not. From what I last heard, he's not stateside yet. He's
Yeah, he's
stuck
still in the
overseas.
UK. Yeah.
So
Um,
who are they gonna? My thing is who do they put in his place?
you could put Carmelo. You could put The Miz. Um, either of those two
True.
will work fine. I don't think they're going to cancel the whole match because Drew's not in it. You got three of the four. It's not
Yeah,
hard to put a. I mean,
and
Miz will
they
probably
they
make the
put
most sense.
they put too much build into it too.
Yeah, I mean, Miz will probably make
And
the most
honestly,
sense.
Jelly put in way too much work to get his match canned. There's no way they're
Agreed.
gonna can that match.
Agreed. Who goes over?
Randy and Jelly Roll, I would have to say, just just based on the potential of Jelly Roll doing more down the line.
I can see that.
Because from what I saw on SmackDown when him and Logan went at it, what was it last week or the week? Yeah, last week. He looked really good. He looked really good. I
Small
mean,
sample
obviously,
size, but that's smart.
yeah, he looked. They gave him the basics. They let him do what he's got to do, and I mean, that black hole slam that he did to me was just perfect.
Yeah, it looked good. It looked
When
really good.
he pulled that out, I was just like, I'm like, oh, so he really is a fan. I understand now.
I
I was
think
like, he pulled out a move a lot of guys don't use.
I think the thing about celebrities is they have to care and want to be in the ring, not just to run around, prance around the ring, and do like they actually have to want to go in there and put in the work, take the bumps, learn.
Yes.
You look at guys like Bad Bunny did pretty
Oh
well,
my God.
did really well.
Oh,
I mean,
dude, when they did that in Puerto Rico, that was oh my God. I don't think I've ever heard a stadium erupt like that.
yeah, I mean, and he
I don't
literally,
think I've ever heard a stadium erupt that much in a long time.
yeah, but then you got guys like Travis Scott who don't really care. They're just there
Yeah,
to sing their song and
yeah, that whole situation was kind of I don't know where the host went. He disappeared. Disappeared, guys. But yeah, so like he was saying, you got guys like Travis Scott who came in.
you're breaking up a
They were
little bit.
supposed to do a lot with him, and he either didn't want to put the work in or what have you. But here we are. Travis Scott isn't involved, which I think I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. There we go. You're back.
Yep, and yeah, technology.
That's
Anywho,
okay. I was finishing up the whole Travis Scott thing of like it's not a good thing, it's not a bad thing. It's kind of like there was some potential behind it. If they would have done, if it would have worked out, and they all could have done more, there was some potential behind it. Coming out of that whole angle with him and Cody and John and everybody.
I just don't think he was as dedicated as they wanted him, or as he led them
No,
on to be.
no, I don't think he was. I think for him it was a nice, quick little. I've always been a fan, which he doesn't hide the fact he was. He's always said that. But I think to him it was like, let's go out there and really see what they do. And then I think when he realized they wanted to do more with him, it was like, wait a second, hold on. It was like I can't commit to all this.
Yeah, this requires commitment that he's not, and that's fine. Like sometimes people take that first bump and they're like, fuck this.
I mean, my first one, I did it. I got up, I got back down, I did it again,
I remember yeah. My first bump.
and then I got back up and I came home from that show that I was doing commentary on. I went home. I woke up the next day, sore as hell.
Yeah.
I got a phone call from the promoter that we worked with, and then my dad, and they're like, "So you want to do it?" I'm like, "Yeah, when can I do it again?" They're like, "Are you kidding me?" I'm like, "Yeah, when can I do it again?" I'm like, I can't move, but when can I do it again?
Yeah. I remember my first. Yeah, you get past that after the first like few days.
Yeah.
Next, not really. We have another tag team match. We have Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker versus Roman Reigns and Jey Uso. Your predictions?
Good. After Monday night, when they stole Roman's shoes, yeah, you can't do that. You can't do that. You can't steal it. You can't steal somebody's shoes. For those that know, no, you don't steal somebody's shoes off their feet and just walk away with nothing without you getting touched or anything. You don't walk away from that.
If you know, you know.
Yeah.
So you're picking Roman.
I think Roman and Jay might go over tonight. But you got to look at and somebody brought it up. I think it was Jim Cornette brought up a good point with Seth Rollins being injured. This weekend is when you'll find out if it's a real injury or if they did this and worked the shit out of everybody.
Yeah. See, here's the thing. There's two sides of that. Like, there's the side that he is hurt, which to
Right.
me I would tend to believe more now because it's like, so you purposely kept Seth Rollins, LA Knight, and Penta off the card when you could have done Seth versus Roman and Penta and LA Knight versus Braun and Bronson.
Right.
Like, to me, I feel like that's not a move you would do purposely on one of your biggest shows of the summer.
No, and I think
if this was just like a backlash, whatever.
Right.
I I was on the side of Roman and Jay up until like a few hours ago. They could bring in the third guy that was talking about bringing in.
Now that's the other thing.
And Jay takes the pin, and they beat down Roman, and Roman goes away again, like he usually does.
Either that, or maybe they do that. Maybe Jimmy comes out.
I think he's going to be dealing with.
I mean, I know everybody's sick of that whole little, the three of them together. But really, if you're gonna have him get beat down, who's the only one that's really gonna save him?
I mean,
that's the only one that's really gonna save him is Jimmy. Who's gonna come out to save his brother and his cousin? Unless Jacob comes out.
Yeah, but I think he's going to be a little busy.
Well, so I did read today, and it kind of pertains to that whole kind of those two sets of matches. Is Rikishi was supposed to be at WrestleCade, and so was Haku. My thinking is their bookings got canceled. Why do you think? Because I think Rikishi potentially comes out with Jay and Roman to kind of equalize Paul Heyman potentially, or he comes out with Jacob.
Can I say something?
Sure, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hey, buddy,
that's an interesting.
I'm his dad.
That's my co-host and my tag team partner.
What is up?
So Rikishi was also supposed to be in Jersey last night on Thursday. No, yeah, last night, Tuesday. His booking got canceled.
Yeah.
So the thing could be.
If he wants to get on, he's more than welcome to.
Hey, you want to put a microphone on?
No, I.
He's just chiming in here and there. He's just sitting here.
So I think what's gonna happen is, like Vanilla said, I think what's gonna happen is Rakishi's gonna come out to even up the odds with Paul Heyman, and then you're gonna have Haku come out somewhere in that match and take out Bronson Reed.
No, see, I see Haku.
Because you know why?
I see Haku coming out with his boys, with the three Tongans.
Yeah, but I think he may come out and take out Bronson Reed, because who's the most dangerous man in WWE history? Haku.
Interesting. I don't
If
disagree.
you ever read up on Haku, Haku is a martial artist. Haku's one of the most dangerous guys, but he's also one of the most light hitting guys until you potato him or piss him off. I mean, I met him once. Like Joey said, I was trained by the Samoans, Pete McKay, Johnny Rods, Tony Rumble. I mean, I've been all over. So, just a little word of wisdom from a guy that's been doing this over 30 years.
Nothing wrong with words of wisdom.
And if you watch WWE on TikTok, they do like the meetings before the shows. And if I tell you, WrestleMania, they were going to put over CM Punk.
Oh, you're talking about, no, that's not from TikTok. That's on their new TV show.
Oh, no, I was watching on
TikTok.
TikTok.
But that's on their new Netflix show that's out now.
They were going to put over CM Punk because of his last run, his last year. They want to make him a champion. And four of the guys said, even Paul Heyman said, listen, Jey Uso has a bullet in his ass right now. Let's just run with it and fire it off the cannon.
Well, that's when Triple H said he was going to strap a rocket to his ass and put him over in the Rumble.
You can go as far as you want with it, he said, and that's why he is where he is today. And I think Jimmy's coming back at SummerSlam this weekend.
Jimmy's been back.
Yeah, but I think he's going to come back as the Usos.
No, I don't see that yet.
Not as the Usos, but they're going to come back. He's going to come back and help his brother.
It's too.
Right. I'm going to shut this off, and if I think of anything, I'll come back on.
It's too early for that yet. For them to put them back together, but I know that's been talks as they want to do that.
So what's the name of the show?
I have it in my phone.
WWE Unreal?
No, I think he was asking the name of your show.
Mine is Wrestling Therapy.
Wrestling Therapy.
Oh, I love that, brother. We got to have you on the podcast.
I'm down.
Where you from?
Right now I'm in Baltimore, Maryland.
Oh,
okay.
So you're a Phillies fan living in Baltimore. How's that working?
They don't got much to say. They haven't won a Super Bowl in a while.
Good point.
Good point. I'm sorry to interfere.
It's all good.
Listening.
It's all good.
When it comes to wrestling, I taught him everything. So
Hey, I wouldn't mind having you on as well. I have another podcast that I do. I interview some wrestlers and stuff too, and we just talk about their origins and stuff like that. So if you guys want to be on that, that's an audio one. Let me know, and I can get you guys on, both of you guys on that as well.
Yeah, you let us know, and we'll set up some dates. Okay. Absolutely.
Just let Joey know, and we just can't do it on Sundays between 11 and 12:30.
Well, once football season starts, I ain't doing shit on Sundays. So.
Yeah, no, that's why we do our shows from 11 to 12:30, because we originally were doing like 1 to 12 to 1:30, and I'm like, you're interfering with some time, so we gotta fix this.
Right. Anyway, let's go ahead and continue on to the card. Another tag team matches we have is Roxanne and Raquel the women's tag team champions. They will be defending against Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. Your predictions?
So, all right. So this match is kind of a where do you go from here? In my opinion, do you give Roxanne and Raquel the belts and let them retain it, and then when Liv comes back, what do you do with Liv? Do you have her beat Roxanne up and kick her out of the Judgment Day, or do they kick her out? Does Roxanne take her out? Kind of like they've done with every almost member or woman so far, like Rhea. Liv beat her up and kicked her out. Edge, they beat him up and kicked him out. They're getting ready to kick Finn Balor out because if you pay attention in the Judgment Day's hideout, there's been spots, and not when I say spots, there's been glimpses of Demon Finn Balor merchandise all over, little Easter eggs. So does he eventually get kicked out? There's so many ways to go with that angle alone. But this match, I would probably say, if they're smart, prediction wise, I would like to say Charlotte and Alexa, because if you're gonna strap a rocket you're gonna put the belts on some new people. That's a team you haven't seen in a while. And with Alexa coming back and Charlotte just coming back less than a year ago, it sets itself up to be a potential run with Charlotte and Alexa, and then maybe put Raquel and Roxanne back in the hunt for the belts, because you have the Kabuki Warriors, you have Chelsea Green and her people, you have potentially Bianca and maybe Rhea. It,
I see. I could also see a universe where Judgment Day keeps the belts.
again, that's a very plausible thing, and a very easy universe, because it's probably what's going to happen. But like you said, I would like to see it go to somebody else, but the world that you're talking about is probably the world we're going to wind up in.
I was earlier for sure on Charlotte and Alexa, and then I was just like, well, you could screw them out. Maybe Liv Morgan makes a return or some sort, and she's not going to wrestle, but kind of gives them the odds, and Judgment Day somehow sneaks the win. I don't. I haven't made my official predictions yet.
Yeah, that match is kind of like you said. It's one of those. It could go either way. You could be high on one, high on another. It's kind of like right in the middle, just sitting there, because you don't know who's gonna be where and what they're gonna do coming out of SummerSlam. Do they keep Alexa and Charlotte a tag team? Do they split them back up? I mean, I personally think the title pictures on both brands are overloaded. So maybe you put them in the tag team division and let stuff simmer down for a little while.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
That's a question I like to always ask. What's next?
right.
What's
And
speak?
I feel like in that situation, you kind of have to.
Yeah, because I mean, you could. The easy choice will probably be keep the belts on, put the belts, excuse me, on Charlotte and Alexa.
Right,
That's probably the easiest option. Or you can kind of make them go through some more adversity, Charlotte and
right.
Alexa, and then eventually put the belts on them, and then you could start the disintegration of Judgment Day.
Yeah,
Um,
unless maybe something happens and maybe they put Bailey and Charlotte back together. Since this is twice now, Bailey's been left off a big card.
Speaking of Bailey, we can go ahead and speak on to the next match. We have the Women's Intercontinental Championship match in a no disqualification match. The Man, Becky Lynch, will be defending against Lyra Valkyria. If Lyra Valkyria is unsuccessful, she will not be able to challenge Becky Lynch as long as she is champion. Your predictions?
I feel like I'm going to start by saying somehow or another, I feel like Bailey's involved. I don't know how she's involved, if she's who she's going to screw out of the belt, but she's somehow involved in that match. 100%, I think she's somehow involved. Don't know if it's to screw Lyra, screw Becky. Maybe it is the screw Becky. And then it's back to Bailey and Lyra. I mean, I think coming out of that, I think your next big draw would be Becky and Bailey for the title. I think your next big one is Becky and Bailey, and then she loses it to Bailey because Bailey hasn't held that belt yet.
Correct.
I mean, that's potential that Becky wins, and then Bailey gets the belt from her, or she could screw Becky, give it to Lyra, and then her and Lyra, and she wins the belt from her. But I feel like Lyra losing the belt to Bailey is kind of like a snub to her. Not in a bad way, but because she already won the belt and then turned around and lost to Becky less than a month later. You know, you don't want to play flip flop with the belt where Becky's held it since what, right after Mania, I believe.
A few weeks after Mania, yeah.
Yeah. Now we're heading into SummerSlam. That's couple month reign. That's not bad. That's not bad. And I mean, if you're gonna lose it, Bailey's a good challenger to lose it to.
It goes back to what we said earlier. What's next?
Right.
Like, if you put the belt on Lyra, it could be Lyra Bailey. Okay. If you keep the belt on Becky, I think Becky should get a new opponent. That's not
Yeah.
Bailey or Lyra.
I mean, you're right. You're right. I mean, obviously, we know that they're probably gonna go money match first, or they're gonna go draw first. And it's gonna be Becky and Bailey, unless they give it to Lyra and Bailey beats Lyra, and then to start Bailey's reign, you get Bailey and maybe Oscar, or maybe Bailey and Becky right off the rip. Because essentially, then, like you said, it's Becky doesn't need a new opponent because it's Bailey's run. Bailey
True.
needs to kick off her run, and who better to kick it off with than the person who attacked her at WrestleMania and Becky, or in however I
I
forget how they
I
came out with
honest
that, but
I don't see Bailey winning that title until Survivor Series when they're in San Diego,
I could see that.
which is like around her stomping
I
grounds,
could,
pretty much. I could definitely see them putting the belt on her there.
you know what? Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Um, I just,
I mean, home,
I could see Bailey maybe unintentionally, intentionally costing Lyra, and they have a little bit of a feud, and Bailey gets a shot at Becky at a Survivor Series.
somehow, some way, yeah, that's potential. I mean, that what's next is always the key, and it's how do they want to come out of that angle?
Right,
Because obviously, this match is the blow off match, as they used to say back in the day. This is your go away heat, your blow off match.
right,
You know what's next after that for Lyra and Becky? Absolutely, there's not much left for them at this point in time. Doesn't mean down the road there's not, but
correct.
at this point, this is where it's got to get cut off and blown off, and then next, who's next is the question.
Speaking of next, we have a steel cage match for the United States Championship. We have Solo Sikoa defending that United States Championship against all gas, no brakes.
No breaks with it.
Jacob
Yarameen.
Jacob Fatu. Your prediction?
Oh man, see, to me this is going to be a tough match to pick. This is going to be a tough match to pick a winner because whether people like it or not, Solo's over as a heel. 100%. 100% Solo is over as a heel. Jacob, but in the same sense, as a babyface, he's up on the top of that list. Whether people want to admit it or not, Jacob is up on the top of that list.
Correct.
I wouldn't be surprised with Jacob in the next 6 months to a year. They're strapping a rocket to him and going all the way to the top.
But there's one thing that you have to understand, that Jacob was under the control, and I don't mean control like he was under the control of Solo uh, for however many months.
But you got to
And
look
then
at
when
it
he
as,
left,
was he really under control? Because
well, you know what I mean. He was whatever
Under his thumb.
Solo said he did.
yeah,
So now what he's gonna do, like he said, you can't control me. He said, so now I'm gonna go with Jacob, and not because it's all gas, no brakes, because right now
oh yeah, no,
I
100%.
think Solo is going to slow down a little bit, because ever since he's got there, he's been going. So I think he's going to slow down a little bit. And when the bloodline gets involved, Jacob's going to take them all out. And then that's when I think you'll see Haku come out as he takes out the bloodline.
Because right, so to kind of piggyback off that, I mean, really, if you're gonna have Rikishi come out with Jacob and Haku out there with the Tongans and Solo, I mean, do you potentially see Roman and Jimmy and Jay come out and help him
No,
and take out the Tongans? I'm not saying help Jacob win the match. I'm saying even the odds by taking out Tongaloa, Tamatonga, and I'm still gonna call him by the name he was in Japan. I don't know what name they gave him here, but Hikaleo. Do you see them come out? And I don't know.
I,
It's
I don't, because one, Roman's not going to stick around after SummerSlam. So Roman even getting involved in that would just kind of just be a waste of time, since especially he's going to be gone. Jay, maybe.
and maybe Jimmy, and then if Solo takes that step back, maybe you see the three of them against the Tongans.
And that's if the other one even joins Solo, because he could join Fatu.
He could very easily, but I think he already did join Solo because I think he showed up on SmackDown and helped them. I just don't think they've used him a lot,
Right.
which is smart because if you have a giant like that, which he's what you look for in a giant, you don't want to overexpose him either.
But you don't want to underexpose him either.
No, you're 100% right. They got to find that happy medium, and I think maybe this is his way of getting on the big stage, or exposing him to a lot of people at once instead of an episode of Friday Night SmackDown. Maybe you expose him on SummerSlam and get everything kind of flowing for people to want to see more of him. I mean, I personally would like to see Jacob win because I think he's gonna elevate him with that. He doesn't need the title to elevate himself, just like Jay. But I think the title shows people that he's here to stay.
I'm on the fence on this match personally. Fatu feels like the easy and obvious pick, but I could see a world where Solo wins by escaping the cage, which keeps Fatu looking strong, and maybe down the line
Yeah,
Jimmy beats Solo for the U.S. title.
that wouldn't taking out little brother. I mean, that's always kind of been a storyline that was there since the bloodline.
The only thing I'm like, well, if Fatu wins back the belt, well, you could run him and Priest again. Like, well, they had teased. You could run him and Priest. You could
Him
do,
and LA Knight.
yeah. I mean, I think he's kind of past the U.S. title at this point, but
I mean, truthfully, he should be in a world title picture.
he should have a match at SummerSlam. But
Well,
that's neither here nor
that's
there.
yeah. I was just gonna say that's here nor there because there's a lot of people that should be having matches at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
But
Okay. Next. we have the Queen of the Ring, Jade Cargill, as she earned her opportunity to face Tiffany Stratton for the WWE Women's Championship. Your prediction?
All right. Now I'm gonna go against the grain here. Tiffany's the easy choice, but I think they've built Jade enough to be a big badass champion that I think it's her time to shine. I think it's her time to shine. And this goes back to when she was in AEW. Yes, they strapped the TNT or TBS title on her. She may have not been ready completely from what everybody thinks, but she always showed out strong. She's always delivered in some of those really big matches she needed. So I see Jade getting the belt. I think Tiffy time might have run its course by now. Now you got to take Tiffany, let her lose the belt, maybe put her in the women's US title picture, because it's not knocking her down, it's elevating the US title to the next level.
Agreed.
I'm gonna say I have to go Jade. I'm just I think it's time. I do. I think she's shown that she can hang with the big dogs, with Naomi, with Bianca, with Rhea, with Charlotte. The matches she's had, I think she showed she can hang.
I agree.
I think it's time to strap the rocket on her and see where you can go from here.
I think people over hate Jade.
And it's because she's to them, she's strong. I mean, let's be honest. They're afraid that they're gonna give her the belt and nobody's gonna be able to beat her. They're worried about and I he was one of my favorites and people are gonna hate me, but they're afraid she's gonna be billed and have a record like Goldberg. And I think that's what people are worried about.
But I mean, she's
And just because of the way she was treated in AEW and the fact that they think that she's not ready, I think she is, and I think to give her the belt at a place like SummerSlam after everything she's went through with, being thrown through a window by Naomi, being turned on by Bianca, I think that's all kind of played a factor into, okay, I think it's time for her to get the belt now.
Well, they said that there's a lot of heat in the back locker room with her because she she kind of stiffs people. Sometimes she blotches up maneuvers.
Everybody does, though.
Hold on, and they said that she should have came in and like everybody else went to NXT at least for maybe a month.
Well, she was in the Performance Center for 6 months before she
Right,
came
but
up.
then they said she should have went to NXT. They said she could still use some training. Do I think she's going to be a big superstar? She's going to have to, like Naomi reinvented herself. She's going to have to try to kind of reinvent herself and do something else. Like, she comes out and what does she call herself now?
She just goes by Jade. She doesn't even call herself
Jade
anything.
Cargo. No, they give her like everybody
They
gets
gave it to her,
that
but
middle name. I forget.
no,
what
it's
it
just
is.
Jade. It's just Jade Cargill.
And
That's it.
you
Or
have
Jade.
to try to come in and reinvent yourself because a lot of the girls there got muscles. A lot of the girls got
Yes, but a lot of them have muscles, but
I wish
none of
her
them
well.
none of them look like Jade.
She's doing very well, and I think personally she should stay on a singles run.
And that's why I'm saying give
That's
her
my
the
opinion.
title. I mean, could I have seen them give her maybe the women's mid card title? Absolutely. But, they've teased Charlotte and Jade for how long now? What, over 2 years already?
yeah, they've been playing around with that for a little while. Speaking of Jade, we have her other counterpart that she was feuding with, Naomi, who cashed in at Evolution to become the women's world champion, and she will be
Oh,
defending that title against Rhea Bloody Ripley and
and
Io
EO.
Sky.
So, all right. So that's actually a good point. And, I think throwing EO in there was okay. I personally think we should have seen Rhea and Naomi one-on-one for the belt. Um, but I get it. Io was champ. She lost it by a cash in. I get it. I think, see, to me, like, and I heard it on another show, but they made a good point. You've done the three-way for the belt already with Io at WrestleMania. I think now it's time for maybe Naomi and Rhea, and then maybe Rhea and Io, and then Io and Naomi. You could go with so many singles matches and then lead up to the three-way. Maybe, you know, they could have started with Naomi and Rhea at SummerSlam and then moved their way to Survivor Series and then did the three-way and had them feud with each other the entire time.
I don't think they was gonna keep Io off the card if she's healthy on your biggest show, and you're definitely not gonna keep Rhea if she's healthy.
Oh no, you're not keeping Rhea off that card. That's why I'm saying I could have seen Rhea and Naomi and then maybe put Io in another match somewhere.
But I mean, then again, there's only so many matches you can have.
Right,
To not put
right,
Io in the match wouldn't make sense because like, well, she was the champion. Like, why would Rhea get another
right. She lost
opportunity?
by cash. Yeah, she lost by cash in.
Right, and like Rhea's had plenty of opportunities at the title, plenty. I love Rhea, but I am kind of fatigued with her around the title picture. There's too many other talent in that roster that should be getting the spotlight, like Stephanie, um, Io, because she hardly ever defended the title or wrestled when she was champion. But
Yeah, that's.
I
I think that's why people are upset with her being in the match because when she had the belt, she defended it one time against Rhea. I think that was it before she lost it at the pay-per-view.
that sounds about right. Um, so who are you picking?
On the run, as much as I want to say Rhea or Io, because again, like you said earlier, that's the easy answer. As much as I'm on the fence, I'm leaning a little more towards Naomi because she did put the time in to reinvent her character and become the heel that she is now. And I think she's got some gas in the tank. And maybe if Jade loses, maybe they put Jade and Naomi. Maybe somehow she winds up on Raw and it's Jade and Naomi for the belt. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of ways out of SummerSlam you can go with certain people and the shakeups and the drafts and all kinds of stuff. You could do a lot coming out of SummerSlam, but I'm leaning more towards Naomi on this match. I'd have to say.
Okay. Next, we have more than likely the main event for night one. I would assume it's the main event for night one anyway. CM Punk, who won a gauntlet match to face the Ring General Gunther, who is the current world heavyweight champion.
If I'm gonna be honest, I'm tired of Gunther and his title reigns. I really am. As much as he's good, I've had enough of Gunther. 300 and something days, 400 and something, whatever he had. I'm worn out on Gunther. I personally was hoping Goldberg beat him at Saturday night's main event. If I'm being honest, honestly,
That's diabolical.
but it wasn't too far out of the realm though.
No, it wasn't. It absolutely wasn't. That's
It
what made me
wasn't,
nervous.
and I would have been okay with that.
Nah, I would have hated that.
I think for me, I would have been okay with it because it was in Atlanta where he won his first championship, and then he could have rode off into the sunset on Monday night and lost it.
I'm good on
But
that. I don't like that at all.
but either way, I
Goldberg
mean,
being a world champion in 2025 is not something I want to see.
there's a lot of things that weren't on the bingo card in 2025 that have happened so far.
That's absolutely true. Thankfully, Goldberg
So I
winning a
mean,
world title was not one of them.
um, I think personally, I think they give Punk the belt,
And
and
I'm gonna ask the question: do you think Seth Rollins cashes in on CM Punk?
so this is where you really find out if that injury was a work or not. Does Gunther, or maybe Gunther beats Punk and Seth cashes in on a weakened Gunther, and then you go Punk and Rollins at Survivor Series. I mean,
See,
either way, it's going to come that we all know it's going to come down to Punk and Rollins at some point.
I think if Gunther wins, I don't see Punk. Not Punk. I don't see Seth cashing in on Gunther because if
I mean,
Punk
I
wins,
yeah,
it make story wise it makes sense to
it
stop
does.
Punk from being a world champion, and he'll have a shorter reign than Drew McIntyre did. And
Yeah,
you,
I mean, and then but then I think you still go Punk Rollins I think you still get to Punk and Rollins again at Survivor Series if that's the case.
yeah, you can do that.
I think that either way, like that's why either way, I think it comes down to maybe Punk and Rollins at Survivor Series, unless they go back to the old format of Survivor Series and it is Raw versus SmackDown
But again, this depends on the health
of Seth
of Seth
Rollins.
Rollins.
We're going based off of what's already been in place for a long time that could happen. That's supposed to happen since the Chamber. You know, they wanted to strap the Rocket to Punk for the Rumble, and he was supposed to win the belt at Mania. And then they changed plans and they gave it to Seth.
Shit
I mean,
happens.
so they right, absolutely. I mean, I personally think I think this is the time you put the belt on Punk because I think personally he's not even personally, just looking at his track record so far, like you said, he's won the gauntlet. He's come so close how many times? He was so close in the Chamber. You know, I mean, at some point you have to strap the Rocket to him at some point. And I think they know the fans want that, and I think that's why they've waited so long to do it. And maybe SummerSlam, the big 2 night extravaganza.
I don't
I mean,
disagree with that. I think that match is a coin toss.
it is
I could very well see Punk winning this match, and I could see
100%,
Gunther retaining.
very easily.
But
It,
speaking of matches, we also have Sami Zayn versus Karrion Cross.
about about freaking time. Cross is on a pay-per-view.
Hey, he was on Night of Champions too.
Yes, he was, but
Let's not
that
take that away from him.
no. I'm not going to take that away from him at all. It's about time they're really giving him what he so rightfully deserves.
The question is, how long has he resigned? Because if he hasn't resigned, we may not
I
see
think
Cross
he
after
signed
this.
an extension. I think he re-signed. I don't know for how long. I think at some point, and you may agree with me, you may not, most people may not. Not that he needs it, but just imagine him being a world champ.
It was a great NXT champion.
And I think he would look even better with a world title on him.
I don't disagree. I agree
And I
100%.
think if you make him a world champion, that's going to be probably one of the best heel champions or tweener champ, whatever you want to call him. Heel, babyface, he's going to be probably one of the best champions you have.
I agree.
I mean, as far as this match goes, does Sammy finally turn to the dark side?
That's another one I need a break from. Sammy. I'm kind of good.
I mean, could I see Karrion Cross beating him? Absolutely,
Yeah, yeah.
very easily. Because I'll, it'll go to those. It'll be one of those. He won't go to the lengths. I'll go, and somehow Cross beats him.
Yeah.
Maybe Sammy doesn't go to the lengths, or Scarlett interferes. There's so many number of, you know, things they could do with that match. I think Cross goes over. I do.
Raw. Okay, I like that. Okay.
I think Cross goes over, and it's not because I'm sick of Sammy, because I like Sammy. I think to further the storyline, Cross goes over, and then Sammy's finally got to come to grips with, can he do it? Maybe he should get Cross's help, or he embraces his dark side, and then finally, maybe you get a Sammy heel turn. Who knows?
I can see that. Um, we have another title match on the docket. We have the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time, Dirty Dominic Mysterio, and he will be
Versus one
defending
of the greatest athletes of all time.
AJ Styles. Who wins this match?
See, now, if I was being impartial, I grew up an AJ fan, so of course I want to see him win the belt. Of course I do. Of course I do. But Dominic has aura. We can't take that away from him. The dude went to Mexico as a badass and got a pop that I've never seen before. So I don't know. I mean, this is such a toss-up match. It's like it's like it's a hard one to pick because you strap the belt on AJ, you're getting a valid champion, somebody who's gonna build that up again. But if you keep it on Dominic, he's still over. I mean, he doesn't even need the belt at this point. We all know that. He showed he can go. He doesn't need the belt. I mean, if you ask me, I think he's going to Mexico.
Well,
And I
he's
think
in a fatal four-way for the AAA heavyweight title.
and people are gonna hate me for when I say this too. I think he comes out on top. I really do.
I knew he was a good guy. See,
As much as I love, Vikingo and all those other guys,
El Grande Americano.
yeah, I really see Dominic out on top. I do. And I don't know why. I don't know why.
Because he's Dirty
I
Dominic Mysterio.
I think it's just the way when I seen the highlights of him showing up in Mexico, ripping the freaking mask off and the place going absolutely fucking nuts. How do you not strap your belt on him? You can't. Like look at when those Garzas went down there. The place went crazy.
They will be
Of course you're
defending
gonna
those
put the belts on
titles.
them.
Speaking of
Friday
Low
night.
Garza, they will be defending those very tag titles, AAA tag titles, in a open challenge to Raw, SmackDown, or AAA, whoever.
Now, I'm gonna ask you this because I somebody asked me this the other day. Who do you think accepts that challenge?
I don't think I don't think it's gonna be anybody on the SmackDown roster. I mean, I guess you could, if you wanted to be funky, you could do a Penta LA Knight if you wanted to be funky type
Or
deal.
if maybe think about, and this is just me. It's either maybe it's the LWO if it's not them, and they don't win the unless they go into the matches with the belts. Maybe Phoenix and Andrade.
I don't want to be
It's a
anybody from
possibility.
SmackDown because I don't want them to risk getting injured before the.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm just thinking of like all of the, like you said, like the odd, funky combinations of like Penta and LA Knight or
American Made,
Andrade. You
New Day.
could. I mean, I might not be opposed to New Day winning those belts.
I don't think they're going to drop them. I don't think.
I feel like I do feel like the guards are going to hold on to it for a little while.
Yeah, they're not going to drop them on SmackDown.
No, if they're going to drop them, it's going to be on a big card like a Survivor Series or a big AAA card. Maybe AAA is
Yeah,
included in Survivor Series this year. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, this whole year is, with the acquisition of AAA is crazy.
Yeah, and when we're WWE working with TNA, it's been good. And
Yeah, I
the
mean, I
last,
popped for AJ Styles going home.
I watched that. I watched that show. It was a good show.
I can't lie, I was happy he showed up and came out to get ready to fly. Was really hoping they did it right. As much as AJ hates that song, I was really hoping they did it right. Because I'm like, if he comes out to his WWE song, to me, it's not right. If he's going home, he's got to come out to his normal TNA music. And then when I watched it the Get Ready to Fly hit, I was like, oh, thank God. The kid inside of me was so wholeheartedly complete
I
when he came out to Get Ready to Fly. I was like, that's it.
I thought I'd seen an interview with him saying he actually hates that theme song. I want to say
He
it was with
said he
Chris.
hated it.
I want to say it was Chris Van Vliet.
Van Vliet. He goes, you hear that song every day for 11 years. He goes, I hate it. I hate it. But then you figure he went to Japan. He's been with WWE what, almost 10 years now. He hasn't heard that song in 10 years. And I mean, really, if you're going to go home at Slammiversary, I mean, it was only right. I mean, he could have came out to the original version though, not that version. When he was trunks and jacket AJ Styles, not, tights and gloves and everything else like the original AJ.
Right. Uh,
But I was I was happy with that.
yeah. Yeah. I was cool with that. I enjoyed TNA. For what I've seen of them so far. And
You know what? I'm happy they're finally getting the recognition they deserve again. Because for a while, and obviously you being in the business and being somebody who looks at it, that company got ran into the ground after Jeff Jarrett left. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. I mean, I'm going to come out and say it. It got ran into the ground.
yes, I don't disagree at all.
It it 100% got ran into the ground. They dug the hole, covered it up, and stomped it out.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of decisions were made that didn't need to be made, and
Yeah, like let's give AJ Styles a pay cut, our biggest draw in the company ever.
speaking of draws, we have the main event. We have Homelander. I mean, Cody Rhodes,
Versus
King
the
of the Ring,
Peacemaker. Oh, I'm sorry, John Cena.
versus Peacemaker, aka Never Seen 17, John Cena in a street fight for the WWE Undisputed Championship.
Now here's my thing: is it going to be an actual street fight?
No,
Like, we're going to come out in obviously John's already in jorts. Is Cody going to come out in jeans and some cowboy boots and a tank top and say, let's do this? Really, if you think about it, you're going to go street fights. That's how street fights used to be in the early 2000s, mid 2000s. And then it kind of got to well, let's just go out in our wrestling gear and, just basically have a match and call it a street fight.
I agree.
And I mean, should it be a real street fight like that? I think it should. Do I think they both can do that? I don't think they can.
The street fight element of this just only allows for more freedom and outside shenanigans to happen without a ref bump.
I mean, I would like to see, and again, people can criticize me whatever you want. I think that match is going to need some that and the cage match and the ladder match, the TLC match. There's got to be some sort of blood with those kind of stipulations. Even Becky and Lyra. I mean, you haven't done blood all year. I mean,
Well, I
you
mean,
you
Alexa got busted open last week on Raw. I think Naomi got
right.
on not on SmackDown. I think Naomi got busted open. I believe I saw on Raw last week.
I've noticed that's become a little bit more of a trend lately. That they're starting to. they're starting to use a little bit more color. They're getting a lot more freedom.
I like how it's done. It's like with like AEW, they'll have blood in like every pay per view, every other match. Somebody's going to be bleeding.
And what I see, and a lot of their matches, which I like because their build is so much, is a lot of their matches do call for it. And I think that's what people hate. And I'm not saying you specifically, but the general consensus is, oh, but look at the stuff they've done leading up to that. If they've left people laying and bloodied, I mean, what else are they supposed to do? If somebody leaves me bloodied in a storyline, when I get to a big match, yeah, I'm gonna make sure I leave you laying with some color on your face.
I mean, I understand it, but when you have every other match,
Right.
somebody having come color, the value of it goes down.
Right.
When you see it in like say WWE, you're like, oh shit, this person's actually bleeding. This is different. Before
Right.
WWE, like if you remember, not that long ago, if somebody got a cut, they would stop the match and clean them up.
Yeah. Stop the match, clean them up, call the match. Meanwhile, it's a scrape that you could get from walking down the street.
Right, and it's like okay, like this just takes away from the match. You're gonna stop it. I mean, unless he has a gash that's like, and his fucking
Oh,
brain
you
is
mean like
hanging
they
out.
used to do with Eddie Guerrero and when John Cena were all bleeding like freaking, Kerry
Yeah,
back in the day
yeah.
when they would just Eddie. I found out listening to JBL. Eddie had two blades. He had a regular blade and then he had a business one. And he said the business one was a lot longer. That's what JBL said. He said Eddie's business one was a lot longer and it would cut a lot deeper. Like when they had their bull rope match or whatever it was, and Eddie bled, buckets and buckets and buckets. He said Eddie's the one that did that. I didn't call that. He goes, he went out and on his own and took it upon himself to do that to make it mean more.
Oh, it looked great. it
Oh, it looked
looked
fantastic.
fucking phenomenal.
Fucking amazing. I mean, even when John Cena did it, it looks fucking amazing.
Yeah, yeah,
When he won the belt, I mean, if it's done right, it looks fantastic.
yes. But too much of it devalues it for me.
I mean, it does.
I,
If
I don't need to
every other
see it
match,
like if AEW has like 12 matches under a pay per view and like two of them have blood. Cool,
like
perfect.
like the last pay per view they did, there wasn't a whole lot of blood until you got to Hangman and Moxley,
That match made sense because one Moxley bleeds
and
in the regular match. So
that was fantastic. That was fantastic. But that's a whole nother.
yes,
We do a whole another hour and a half on that.
yes. But as we wrap
So
up, who is your predictions and what do you think happens at the end of this match?
I don't think The Rock comes back. I don't think Rock comes
Dwayne.
back. Yeah, I don't think Final Boss comes back. I don't. Um,
Do we hear
I can't
burn it down?
see. That's the other thing. Do you hear that? Um, I don't know. I mean, I feel like it wouldn't be far fetched. Cody does owe Rollins a favor from WrestleMania. I mean, it wouldn't be far fetched. Wouldn't be far fetched to hear it. I mean, there's this whole card. There's so many ways you can come out of both of these nights. It's like you could call this on this night. You could call Rollins cashing in on Punk. He may not even cash in on Punk. He may turn around and go cash in on Cody, or he might go cash in on Cena. Whoever wins that match, because I feel like that match is a toss up, and I think maybe if we're so Survivor Series and because you said it earlier, Survivor Series is in San Diego, right?
Yes. Playing where the Padres
Is
play
it
for the first time. So that's going to be a
is
big
it
show.
possible John wins? Hear me out.
I'm
If
listening.
John, it could be a toss up on who wins. Doesn't matter. If Cody wins, I see the repay and getting to Survivor Series from when Cody got his first singles match on Mania. Does he repay the favor? Go to Survivor Series, first Rey Mysterio, and drop the belt? They're in San Diego. It's plausible.
It's
Does
plausible.
do they and I'm only saying this because nobody would think this. Does Ray get put in the title picture again? And does Ray win the belt in San Diego and maybe beat John?
Rey Mysterio is way past holding a title.
He doesn't need it. But do I think they maybe give him one more? I do.
If if
I do.
if
I would like
anything,
to see it.
maybe the Intercontinental. Rey Mysterio doesn't need to be in a title match. He doesn't need to hold a title. He doesn't need to be any. He's getting ready to retire. I don't need to see Rey Mysterio in any sort of singles
Or
run.
or or does Ray go back to Mexico and do you get Ray and Dom for the AAA title?
I'll be down for that as
I
long as
mean,
Dom's
come
over.
on. You know, I mean, listen, that's a toss up too. That's a toss up too. There's so many things, man, that you can come out of any of these cards. My prediction, as much as I love Cody as a baby face, I think he's great. I've loved him since AEW, and it was unpopular to like Cody, and people fucking hated him. I I've always liked. There's just Cody. There's just something about Cody. There's just something about Cody as a baby face I like. Um, do I think John loses? No, because he's on his final run. I don't think he loses there. I think maybe down the line you get John and Randy again, and he drops the belt to Randy, his biggest rival, his best friend. You know, I personally was hoping he was gonna, and not saying that I want to see it end that fast, but I personally would have liked to see Randy lose the belt to him in St. Louis.
I,
I
I,
think that, but at the same time, look at that match. There wasn't a clean finish to that match, so you left it open ended for Randy to do it again.
you could, yeah, you could circle.
And maybe that's how they circle back, and he loses it to Randy. Not that Randy needs it, but I feel like it wouldn't be a bad thing. And then you go Randy and Cody all the way to Mania.
I would. I don't know. I think at that point, I'd rather have Punk and Cody because I feel like that needs to happen at some point.
Oh, it definitely needs to happen. I also think Cody and Randy's got to happen one on one at some point too. Not in the King of the Ring. I think that's got to happen outside. You know, whether it's for a title or it's just one on one student teacher. I think that's got to happen on a bigger pay per view.
I agree.
You know, like a SummerSlam, like a Survivor Series, like a Rumble, like a Mania. You know, I think that's got to happen somewhere.
I agree.
And we all know that it's whether we all like it or not. We all know at some point it's going to be for a title.
Yeah, I mean
It's going to happen for a belt. It's whether Cody's champ or Randy's champ. It's going to happen.
that's imminent.
Yeah, it's going to happen.
And that was our SummerSlam 2 night breakdown of the wrestling therapy. Sir, thank you for being on. Would you like to plug
Thank you
any of
for
your YouTubes
having
or
us
anything
on.
you would like to plug before we
I
wrap
mean, yeah,
up?
you can go follow us on all platforms at Turnbuckles and Stogies Pod. Twitter is TNS Pod or T and Stogies Pod. If you go to our Instagram, Turnbuckles and Stogies Pod, you can click the link in our bio. That'll take you to our link tree. That's got all of our social medias, our YouTube, our Spotify, our merchandise store, email, anything you need. You contact us through there. Bookings, whatever you guys want us on shows, email us there. We'll set it all up. We'll make it happen. We'd love to have you on our show as well.
Hey, let me
We'll
know.
set that up
Work
for
something out.
sure. Even if we got to record it, we'll set it up, make it happen. Live every Sunday from 11 a.m. to 12:30 on all streaming platforms, including Amazon Fire TV on the MB Radio app.
Very nice. I am Asuji, and that was another wrestling therapy session. The chair will now be vacated, but don't fret because tomorrow there will be another guest. The chair will be filled again. Everybody stay happy, stay safe, stay blessed.